Wake up! Hi, I'm Kate and welcome to my channel. So I have been really excited to make this video. I put in 2 orders for Moira, seeing their beautiful blushes and their beautiful palettes come out. I just couldn't resist. Price was right, so I have a little haul today. So the first thing I did order was a set of their sponges. So I have 3 sponges to try out today. The blushes were the first thing that drew me in, and I did grab 2 of them. I believe these were $9 a piece. So I grabbed the Orange Blossom, and then I grabbed the Ruby Flush. So I grabbed some that were a little bolder because I have subtle blushes, so I thought why not, try things that were a little bolder. What I'm most excited about though is the Garden of My Mind palette. There were 2 palettes that came out. The other one I passed on. I had a lot of those colors, whereas this one had a lot of these bright neons that I just don't have. And look at that. It's so pretty. So this palette was $17 and it's mostly mattes. There's one, it's like a sequin shade, like a matte with glitters in it. And then one really pretty kind of foiled shimmer. I swatched it in my Instagram stories the other day, but it is just, I don't know if that's gonna pick up very well, but it's a beautiful shade. I'm thinking that I might go pretty matte today and play around with maybe some of those oranges and the yellow. I'm not gonna go bright green today, but I don't know, maybe kind of some of these colors. We'll see. But I'm excited to play around with these products today. So I'm gonna go off camera, fill in my brows, prime my eyes, and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm all primed up and ready. I think I'm gonna do a really simple shape today. I'm gonna go kind of orangey today. I don't do a lot of orange. So I'm gonna start with this shade Unforgettable and just throw that in the crease. I've never used anything from Moira before, so this is just kind of a total first impression. I've seen a lot of their really beautiful palettes that have kind of an interesting shape on the inside with some really cool colors, but nothing that's fully drawn me in until, well, first these blushes and then this palette. All right, so that's showing up right away, which is great because it's a pretty light color. All right, good start. So like looking at this palette, it's hard for me to decide if this is a better spring palette or summer palette, because when I think like neons and stuff, I think more summer, but there are some pretty really soft shades that could be nice for spring. I feel like it's missing like one light shimmer because there's only the deep one. I don't mind having a lot of colorful mattes. Like I would rather go in with colorful mattes and then add a light, neutral shimmer on top, which I have plenty, in other palettes or my Super Shock shadows or other singles. So I really don't mind having a mostly matte palette if the colors are interesting. All right, well that seemed really easy to lay down and build up. A lot of pigmentation. So now I think I'm gonna go in with this shade down here, Full Bloom. This one's really pretty too. It's a little bright for a school day, but I'm gonna pop in down here and build that in the outer corner and pull it through the crease. All right, so we built that up, but kept some of the orange in the front. So, I think I am gonna hop into that more neon orange called So Pleasant and kind of just pop that on the center of the lid. Just right there. I'm gonna go back into that first neon orange and build that back up out here. And then blend it through the crease. All right, well these are super pigmented shadows. I'm barely having to dip in and I'm getting a lot of color payoff. I'm just debating if I want to stay all matte today or if I want to add some type of shimmer. I don't know. I think I'm gonna go like neon yellow for the inner corner though. I think that could be fun. All right, what do you think? Should we leave it matte or should we add a shimmer? I feel like I need a shimmer. So I think I'm gonna pop into my Jelly Much from ColourPop. I think think I've used this in a previous video, but it actually kind of mimics the shimmer of a Pat McGrath special shade. So I just grabbed the lid. This is called Mojave Moves. And I just tap a little bit with my finger, and that's the same finger that I swatched the other shade with, of course. But it doesn't add any color, which is good because I want those oranges to shine through, but it can just add a little shimmer to the top there. There, what do we think? Alright, so I think that added what I wanted, just a light shimmer that doesn't take away from the colors. I'm gonna pause here, go off camera, skincare, foundation, and I'll be back. For blush today, I feel like I have to go in with the Orange Blossom. I'm not sure like how pigmented it is, but I don't know if you can see the beautiful pattern on there. It's just so pretty. So I'm gonna grab, I have a little more of a flimsy brush from Sephora. My other blush brushes are a little more sturdy, so they pick up a lot, but just like touching this, it's super, super pigmented, and I don't want to go too crazy, so I just want really a soft flush of orange. This is for Kara-C. We've talked a little bit on Instagram about this blush in particular. She's in Canada, so I think the shipping was a little crazy, but let's see how this goes on. I'm like going super light-handed. I barely tapped in. And it's just a really pretty orange flush. Alright, that is really pretty. I feel like these products are super pigmented. I mean, the eyeshadows were super pigmented but blended out really well. I'm not even done with the video and I think I'm sold already, but I also think these products would work beautifully on deeper skin tones because... Hi, Mom. Because they are so pigmented that I'm barely touching in and barely touching the brush to my face, and I'm getting payoff, and I'm intentionally going very light. Alright, I think I'm gonna stop there with the blush. Alright, so I have that on. I'm gonna grab a little finishing powder, just pop that on right here. Alright, so that's what we have going on so far. I'm gonna pop back into the eyeshadows and go under the lash line. Alright, so I'm gonna start with what happened to be the deepest shade we worked with, and I'm just gonna start popping that on the lower lash line. And then I'm gonna grab that first light orange, Unforgettable, and just buff that out a little bit. Alright, I'm really liking that eye look. I don't really do a lot of just like straight up orange looks, but I figured why not try something different. Like normally I would look at this and I would go straight for the greens because I do a lot of greens, but this is definitely different. Alright, for the inner corner, I think I'm gonna grab the super neon yellow. It's called Sunrise. I mean, that's bright. Try to tap off a little bit. Alright, that's super bright. I don't know how well it's showing up on camera, but that is a bright neon yellow. I'm gonna drag it under just a little bit. Alright, that's pretty fun. And I think I'm going to stop there. So I'm gonna go off camera, I'm gonna put on some liner and mascara, and I will be back. Alright, I'm back. I went in with liner. I used the Stila liquid liner with a micro tip. I used the Bite Beauty mascara, still loving it. For lips, I wanted to go a little orange, but not too orange, so I did go in with a ColourPop lip liner. This is the shade Absolute Zero. It's pretty orange, and then I topped it with a neutral shade from Moira Cosmetics. This is the shade Humble in the Pillow Matte. So, kind of orange, but hopefully not too bad. I'll have a mask on, so who really cares? But my final thoughts on my first impression of Moira, both these products and as a brand, I'm super impressed. The pigmentation of these shadows, they blended so easily, so I really just stuck with these 2-3 shades, and then I popped this yellow into the inner corner. I'm excited to play around with some of these greens and blues and teals and purples. I have a feeling I'll be getting a lot of use out of this. This is fantastic. Now I kind of wish I had ordered the other one along with it because the quality, I am blown away. These might be the best neons that I have in my collection now. I have the Huda palettes that are kind of not the best, but These are beautiful. The blush, I went in with the Orange Blossom. I was able to sheer it out pretty well, get it nice and soft, but I think you can go really bold if you want to, because I was barely tapping my brush in and barely touching my face, and I still got color payoff. I'm really excited about these. I'll have to try the Ruby Flush one next, but I think these are $9 a piece. The palette was $17, so for indie brand, high quality, that's really great. Okay, so yesterday I filmed my first impressions video with the Moira palette, and I really focused on the oranges, and I'm obsessed already. It performed beautifully. So I decided to go ahead and film again. I'm not sure if I'm going to put this look in the same video and just do like a 2 looks 1 palette video, or if I'm going to post this as a separate video, but I did put it out to Instagram whether I should dip into the greens or if I should play around with the blues and purples, and it was really close, but the vote went to the greens, which I was excited about because that's what I was really wanting to play with. So I think I'm going to play around with that today. And yesterday I also used the Orange Blossom blush. Today I think I will use the Ruby Flush. So just a very pretty ombre from like a light soft pink to, you know, a pretty rich shade. So yeah, we'll see. That's pretty. These are so pigmented. I went in with a crazy light hand with the Orange Blossom and got plenty of payoff, even barely touching it. So I think I'm going to start a little darker. So I'm going to start with the shade Secret Garden right here in the bottom row. Grab kind of a small to medium crease brush, and we'll just start building that up in the crease. So we'll see if these are as pigmented as the oranges, because those just blew me away. They were super pigmented, they blended together easily. And based on the level of pigmentation of those, I'm going in very light with this. I would rather, you know, take my time and build it up versus, you know, going a little too much at the beginning. Alright, that's a pretty shade. And it's a Friday, so why not go a little colorful on a Friday? I mean, I go colorful most days, but that's a really unique shade of teal. I don't think I have a shade like that in my collection. Alright, and that's buffing out really easily too. It's not getting stuck anywhere. Alright, well that's really fun. So I feel like I want to deepen it up a little bit, but that is the darkest of the greens. So I don't know if I want to dip into this brown to deepen up. I guess it's not really that deep of a brown, and it does have glitter in it. But maybe I will grab a blue just to add a little depth to the outside. So I'm going to grab the shade Breathe. Alright, so I think that's pretty. So that was just the Secret Garden tealy green shade with a little bit of the blue. So I'm between 2 different directions for the lid. I think I'm going to cut the crease regardless, but I'm between either, I mean, this shimmer is just, oh, I feel like I have to use that. Between doing that or doing an all matte look and popping that lime on the lid. Oh, this shimmer, I mean, I know I swatched it in the last video too, but I feel like I have to use that. I just have to. And then maybe I'll pop the lime on the inner corner. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the crease. I probably won't put this in for time's sake. I go in with the Juvia's Place concealer. It just has a good consistency for this purpose, and a flat brush, and I'm gonna go on in. Alright, so I'm gonna try to go in with a brush with this shimmer just for a little precision, but it picks up really well with a finger as well, so if I don't quite get the impact I want with the brush, I will dig in with a finger. Alright. I'm not really getting that shine. There it is. Yeah, you need a finger. Alright, that's pretty bold. Right, it's pretty, but I'm not getting quite the shimmer impact that I get in the swatch. So, I don't know why that is. I do feel like I need to deepen up a little bit. And there really isn't anything that much deeper in this palette, so I'm gonna add in the brown on the edges and just see what it does. See if that glitter just kind of goes away. Just kind of try to cut the brightness a little bit. All right, I think that kind of gives what I want. If this was any other day, I wouldn't hesitate to grab another palette, but since I really want to focus on kind of reviewing this on its own, I'm just gonna stick in this palette. All right, so I really like what the brown added, just kind of deepening up that tealy blue shade. The glitter didn't really stick around, which is good. I don't want glitters in my mats. I think I'm gonna stop there on the lid. Again, I'll bring some more brightness in with the lime, you know, popping that in the inner corner once I'm done with the rest of my face. But I think I'm gonna pop off camera, do my face, and I'll be back. All right, so this is really much darker than I thought it would be. I mean, based on, I know they're not light, soft shades, but maybe I should have done the lime on the lid and kept it a little lighter, but the shimmer is pretty once you apply it with the finger. With the brush, I mean, the color laid down, but the shimmer impact wasn't there at all with the brush. I have no issue going into shimmers with my fingers. That's what I'm used to doing anyways. I'm sure I could wet the brush, but I don't like to compromise the shadow if I'm dipping into it with a wet brush, so it is what it is. But I went in with my face. My next step is blush, so I am going to grab another Moira product. So again, this is my first time yesterday and today. These are my first products from Moira. I'm going to grab the Ruby Flush blush. And just, again, knowing how pigmented it is, I'm going to grab kind of a flimsier blush brush. And I'm going to stick kind of to this lighter side and just start to work in there. So again, I think these blushes would work really well for people with deeper skin tones, because I'm only touching the lighter side and I'm barely touching it, and I'm like barely touching the brush to my skin, and I'm getting plenty of payoff. So I feel like these products can really work on any skin tone. And same thing with the eyeshadow palette. The pigment is definitely there. You can also go in a little lighter and build it up, but they are very well pigmented products. All right, so that is a pretty shade. Not too pink, not too red. I do typically like to go on a little bolder with my blush and then kind of diffuse it out with my finishing powder. And I mean, just the imprint of these is so pretty. All right, so I think I'm gonna stop there with the blush. I'm gonna put on some finishing powder. I'll probably cut this out for time's sake. And one thing I didn't show is with the palette, it came in this little cute case with stickers. So I'm a teacher, and I'm a special education teacher, and I use little sticker charts for my students for kind of an incentive program. So I'm like, I think I'll bring this to school. It's great to keep all my other stickers in. So let's dive back into the eyeshadow. So I think I'm gonna start with the brown, since that was the deepest shade we used. I'm gonna layer that under the eye and then buff it out with that light teal. Right, and now I'm gonna hop into the shade Secret Garden right here and buff that out. All right, is this a good work day look? I don't know. Although I feel like I go pretty bold every other day, so it's not a surprise to anyone. And I started at a new school this year, so I just kind of started the year with bold makeup, so no one questions it. So for the inner corner, I am definitely diving into that lime green. It is called Meadow right here. You know, this might be more of a summer palette. There are a couple pastel shades, like you have this purple and the yellow, but otherwise it's really bright neon shades. Right, unfortunately I had gotten some of that teal shimmer in the inner corner as well, so it's kind of layering on top of that. But maybe not giving me the level of brightness I wanted, but that's my own fault. Well, that's green. All right, so we are definitely green and teal today. I did get a little bit of fallout with the lime green. Not a lot, just a tiny bit. So I'm just gonna pop a little concealer on there. I wiped away a little bit. All right, so we're really bold today. I'm gonna go off camera, liner, not lashes. I'm just gonna do mascara today, it's work day. But I'm gonna add some liner and mascara, find a lip, and I'll be back with my final thoughts. Alright, so I'm back. I went in with liner, mascara, found a lip. So for my lips, I went in with the ColourPop liner in the shade Beeper, and then I topped it off with the NARS Soft Matte. This is the Air Matte in Thrust. Again, just like the Rare Beauty formula, if you want something a little cheaper. But we're really bold today. So I played around with the greens, some blues, the brown on the outer edge. And yeah, it's quite bold. These are super pigmented. I'm really excited that I have this palette. I do want to play around more with like just an all matte look. Maybe I'll try that with the purples and the blues next. But I really enjoyed the oranges. I'm enjoying these greens. So yeah, this is a win for me. This is a $17 palette, which for an indie brand is really affordable, and for the quality, I'm blown away. This is my first try with Moira at all, and this is amazing. I went in today with the Ruby Flush blush, and I really just kind of concentrated on the lighter side, and I really like the color payoff. I think I could build it up and go a lot deeper if I wanted to. But yeah, I am super excited about these products. So yeah, that is my first impression or second. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to put this in 2 separate videos or just do a 2 looks, 1 palette video, but it's definitely a win. So thank you so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and I'll see you soon.